Hi guys, so today I want to film my 8 weeks pregnancy update, and that's going to include week 7 and 8 because my last one was at 6 weeks. You touched the camera? You can come sit with me? Calvin is wandering around in here, so if you see the camera jiggling, he's by the tripod. He was sitting up here with me. He decided he wanted to go chase the cats around the room, so yeah. So on my blog, as I've mentioned before, I do weekly updates, so you should see each individual week kind of as the weeks go by. I'm trying to stay as close to real time as possible on there. So I'm gonna go through week 7 based on the categories like I used to do when I was pregnant with Calvin, so it's a little more structured than last time's video, which was kind of all over the place. So I'm gonna go through week 7 first, then we'll go into week 8. The first few weeks I was very snotty with my attitude, but I've been trying to control myself a little bit better. I try to think before I speak these days, and I think that helps a little bit more. I think I've been actually pretty good with my attitude the past couple weeks. And the morning sickness did start to kick in a little bit around 6-7 weeks. So in the 7th week, I started to get like stupid acne where I'm like getting it like on like my shoulders, like upper arms, like my thighs and stuff, like just stupid areas to have acne, which I'm totally not a fan of. I remember that with Calvin, but I didn't think it started this early with him. Bye. I have been having headaches. In week 7 I started having headaches. Well, not started. In week 7 I was having some headaches, but since week 8 is kind of rolled around, they've been lessening a bit, so that's good. I have started getting increased cravings. It's just like when I want something, I want it now. I had an aversion in the first few weeks, but I haven't had any in the past couple weeks. So that's been definitely very different from with Calvin. I had a lot of cravings and a lot of aversions. Like food was definitely a big issue when I was pregnant with Calvin, but so far this time, it's really not that bad. I am seriously so tired of bedtimes. It's not even funny. Like the fatigue is absolutely insane, and I have noticed a decrease in my sex drive probably because of it. I don't remember that at all with Calvin. I never remember feeling like I just totally didn't want to do it, but like that's how I feel right now. Like all I want to do is come home, eat dinner, and go to bed. In week 7, I was having some issues falling back to sleep once I had gotten up in the middle of the night to go pee. Like I couldn't go back to sleep after that, but week 8 has been a little bit better. I've been having all kinds of weird freaking dreams all over the place. If you want to hear about my dreams, you can check it out on the blog, because like every week I have some weird freaking dream going on. That's pretty much it for week 7. Week 8, I have already gained a pound throughout the whole pregnancy. I finally gained that 1 pound. I gained 7 in the first trimester with Calvin, and I really, really, really don't want to do that again this time. And I've been really trying to like control the food that I'm eating and stuff, but I mean I feel hungry all the time. I do, and I feel sick. I feel morning sickness when I have an empty stomach, and so it's really hard to find that balance between feeling full enough to not feel deathly sick, but also not gaining a million pounds like I did with Cal. So that's going to be a struggle throughout this pregnancy. I know that for a fact, and so to only be up 1 pound by now I think is a good thing. I think I was up 3 at least with Calvin at this point, so I'm counting it as a win so far. I have noticed that going to bed like an hour early super does a lot of good. Like that's definitely almost the cure-all to the feeling fatigue. This past week I've been really trying hard to go to bed at 8 instead of 9, and it works. Like when I can actually accomplish that, I definitely feel much better the next day. We did have our ultrasound in week 8. We had it at 7 weeks 2 days, and we got to see the baby. It was actually measuring 7 weeks and 5 days. It was 1.4 centimeters big. When we saw Calvin, he was like not even a centimeter big, and so like I'm like, this baby's gigantic already, but I know that it's a few days off from Calvin and whatnot. Remember when you were a teeny tiny baby living in my belly? Remember? We did get to bring Calvin to the appointment. Not that he really cared about what was going on or anything, so that was nice. Justin, my husband, got to get off work. We both actually got the whole day off to go to the appointment, even though it was like first thing in the morning. Both of our workplaces let us off early, and then Justin even had the day after that off. So we did all get to go. So it was cool that we all got to get off and go see the ultrasound together. I mentioned in my last update that we did do our announcement to everybody. I didn't really talk too much about it though, so I guess I'll just cover that here. We told before we had our first ultrasound we were gonna wait until we had the first ultrasound just to make sure everything was going good, but things just worked out. We saw our whole family the weekend before, and so it was just easier to just get it over with when we were going to be seeing everybody anyway. And so we told, Calvin had a, like, promoted to Big Brother t-shirt, and we went and saw everybody. Some people saw it really quick, some people it took a few minutes, and Justin's dad didn't even notice it, so we had to like tell him to look at Calvin's shirt before he left that day. So that was our way of announcing with Calvin. We had him wear the shirt and just kind of let him wander around until somebody figured it out. I did tell my work, because I work with my dad and he was gonna tell everybody anyway, so I sent out a little email to like to the managers and then some of our salesmen and stuff, and so most people at work know by now, and that was like just a few days before the ultrasound. I told work, and so they knew when I went to the ultrasound that's what I was doing. And then we decided to tell social media too. So we told like Facebook and my Instagram and YouTube and all that stuff, as you guys already know, right after we had the ultrasound. We did wait for social media until after the first ultrasound to make sure things were going well in that department. We didn't necessarily want to wait for fear of miscarriage. It's just that I remember when I was pregnant with Calvin, we waited until like just a little over 5 weeks, and I remember saying I wish we had waited a little longer, but in reality I don't think I could have waited much longer than the like 6.5 weeks that we did end up waiting this time around, just because I'm so terrible at keeping secrets. Like, I just want everyone to know. And I know that, you know, waiting until just at 7 weeks to tell social media and whatnot is, you know, frowned upon or whatever, but I don't know, we just decided that's what we wanted to do. We didn't want to keep it a secret for ever and ever, you know, and plus they say you show faster the second time around, multiple times around, you know, and so I already was like heavier than I wanted to be in this pregnancy, and so like I was gonna start showing like any day now. I'm like, people are gonna be like, and so we just thought we'd get it out there, I guess. Now, we did purchase the sneak peek gender blood test from Amazon back when we started trying in the spring, and so we have that to take at 9 weeks, which is already just a week away, and I'm like super duper excited about that. Like, I don't know, I'm kind of nervous because some people say that it's like some people say that it's a very like extensive, like you gotta like disinfect everything and be super duper careful with it. So I hope it's not too difficult or too, you know, scary trying to actually do it, but I really hope that the results come out, because that's pretty cool. I remember we did do the harmony test with Calvin, which looks for, you know, different genetic issues as well as gender around 12 weeks with Calvin, but our insurance didn't cover that, and so we didn't want to risk doing that again this time around. So we just thought if we want to find out the gender super early, which we kind of do, we would just buy that test. It was actually on sale when we bought it. It was like $60 instead of 80 or 90 bucks, so that was a pretty good deal. So next time I talk to you guys, we'll probably know the gender of the baby. As far as that is concerned, I have a lot of different feelings about that. Like, I feel like up until this point, I felt that it was a boy. Like, as soon as I knew I was pregnant, like as soon as I started feeling symptoms and stuff, I was like, dude, this is a boy. But the past couple days, I'm like really thinking it might be a girl. Like, the girl name we have picked out is the same name that we had picked out when I was pregnant with Calvin, so we've known this whole time that's who the girl is going to be. But the boy name I've just been kind of wishy-washy about, and I'm not totally sure if the one we had picked is really the one that I like, and so that's kind of why I feel like it's a girl. Like, just I feel more connected to the girl name, and I'm kind of wishy-washy about the boy name. And like when I was pregnant with Calvin and Justin suggested the name Calvin, like as soon as I heard that name, I was like, dude, that's totally our baby. Like, the name just spoke to me. Like, that's who's living in my belly right now. And that's kind of how I feel about the girl name right now. So I guess the takeaway from that is I totally don't know if it's a boy or a girl. So I'm gonna get going. Calvin's running around like a little crazy dude. We gotta get ready. It's just first thing in the morning, and we totally both just woke up. He has a doctor's appointment today at 9, so gotta get ready for that. Let me know what other kind of mommy videos you guys want to see. I have put up some blog posts in the past on different things like breastfeeding and my thoughts on becoming a mom of 2, and just like that breastfeeding mistakes, and then like how I've changed as a mom. I've got like a few blog posts up that I thought were kind of interesting, and I kind of want to speak a little bit more about those here in a video. I don't know how quickly I'll be able to film something like that, but that's just something that's kind of been on my mind, is filming some other just random topic videos here. So if you have any suggestions, please leave them down below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Give it a thumbs up if you did like it, and I'll see you next time.